I think we started the game really well. We scored the goal and we let a little bit Wolves to come back to the game. We suffered in the last play of the first half, but then in the second half, with the good pace, with good quality in the decision, we finished the game and also Wolves is in one difficult moment, so I think it was a good win.
You had the most shots of any game since you've been in charge. I know you can only play against the opposition in front of you, but did that show perhaps you're getting more clinical?
No, we scored 4, but we had a lot of shots, so I cannot make that connection with more clinical. I think we improved a lot. If you compare last season and this season, we are creating so much more chances and score more goals and having more real situations of danger. So I'm really pleased with that.
You brought Mason Mount into the team. You must be really pleased with the way he worked with the front three and the way they were particularly fluid throughout the match.
Yeah, they have the quality to do that. They can change positions, especially if you play a guy like Mateus Cunha. He moves more than a normal 9 or typical 9, so we took advantage of that.
If there was a concern, it must have been that you only went in 1-1 at half time. Were the words needed to be said that you had let Wolves back into the game then?
Yeah, well, that was clear. It was so clear that the players felt that we scored a goal, we have the game control, we are creating chances, no chances for the opposition, but we need to understand that in our moment anything can happen. And it doesn't matter the result, we need to push forward, and we did that in the second half.
And was the early goal in the second half perhaps key to that and giving the players the belief to push on?
Yeah, but I felt since the first minute that if it's not sooner, we would win the game. So I really enjoyed the way we played the second half.
And looking forward, really important to build on this now and put in another performance like that with that creativity.
Yeah. Every week that we win a game, I have that question. So we need to win the next one. This one is in the past. Let's go.
Thanks for your time, Ruben.
Thank you very much.
Monday Night Football next week is Manchester United again against Bournemouth. 27 shots they had there, but as we've said, it's difficult really to judge given the opposition. But they can only do what they've done tonight. And as he was pointing last season, they weren't doing that even against the worst team in the league, were they?
No, last season was so bad. It was such a write-off. This season is better. Still lots of room for improvement, but creating so many chances, scoring 4 goals can only help. As you say, there is a slight caveat that Wolves are one of the worst teams we've seen in the Premier League. But you can't do any more than that. I mean, as much as Wolves are a poor team, there's no mugs in the Premier League. You know, it's always of a decent standard. And Manchester United have dispatched them pretty comfortably. I mean, they must have been sick as anything going in at half-time, 1-1. I mean, Wolves hardly had a kick in their box, and they've gone in, they must have been shaking their heads. But thankfully, from their point of view, they put it right pretty early in the second half, and it was all over after about 50-55 minutes.
Although you kept the clean sheet against them, they are creating more chances than they were last season. They are much more potent offensively, aren't they, with the players we've discussed?
Yeah, I think we saw the strength of United tonight. If they've got space in behind, with the pace they've got, the quality of players like Mount, Bruno Fernandes and Bremo making the runs, Cunha dropping into the space to create the space in behind, we saw a real strength of United tonight. I'm sure not every team in the league will give them that amount of space behind, but tonight you saw, as I said, the strength of the players they've brought in and the quality of them, and to score 4 goals.
Okay, that is the positive side of the story for Manchester United. Yet another defeat for Wolves, and in his 4th game in charge of the club for Rob Edwards.
Rob, another defeat tonight. Let's deal with the positives though, because towards the end of that first half you got a goal, first time in a while, and the roof nearly came off here.
Yeah, look, we got ourselves back in the game at half time, but the goals we conceded, we're never going to get anything from a game with the first 3 goals that we conceded. We gave the ball back to them. There you go, Manchester United. And it's going to be impossible to win a game of football that way.
The first goal that you conceded in particular, it was so sloppy, and that kind of was a feature of the first 30 minutes or so, the number of times you got the ball and gave it away straight away. Yeah,
it's understandable at times because there's a nervousness around, you know, the boys aren't at their full level and there's a lack of confidence and rhythm, you can see that. You know, they're human beings and they feel it. So, you know, I can understand that a little bit, but we were still in the game, but those big moments, the most important ones, we're in control. I think for the second goal, real chance for a really good attack, and then we lose it, quick turnover. third one, I think we won it back 3 or 4 times and insisted on giving it back to them. And by then 3-1 is obviously really tough.
How do you go about lifting low confidence levels, Rob?
Well, it's difficult, especially at this level in the league, because we're getting punished. So we've got to try and work very, very hard. We've got to keep our heads down, work hard, and try and learn and try and improve. Be consistent with what we're trying to do every day. But it's not going to be a quick turnaround.
You were saying the other day that you don't want to go down at all, obviously, but certainly don't want to go down with a whimper. Do you feel tonight you got a little bit more from your team than you did a week ago against Forest?
I think there was elements of us that were better, especially the back end.
The end to the first half, the manager had a few things to say, and we come out there and it was down to us to really attack with a purpose and finish these chances that we were creating. So I think we're happy with the second half. I thought in parts the first half as well. Overall, very happy with that.
You certainly created a lot of chances, 4 goals as we know, but 27 shots you had in the game. What was the key to getting so many shots on goal tonight, do you think?
I think, just attacking with freedom. I thought, some of the combinations going forward were crisp, were sharp. And that's what we can do. We know we can do that, and it's about us creating as many chances as we can as forward players and trying to get on the score sheet. So I thought going forward we were solid today, and obviously in defence it's about defending as a team and not letting them get any chance to get back into the game.
Mason, a lot's been made over the setup and the system the manager uses and whether it suits certain players. But is that system with 2 number 10s absolutely perfect for you?
It's a system that I've obviously played before. I've got experience in that position. I know the kind of pockets and spaces that there is in that formation. So I'm used to it. I know when to drop a little bit deeper and when I know to go into the forward positions and get in behind. So thoroughly enjoyed it tonight. And it's as a team, I think we're definitely improving, and we need to keep winning games.
Hi, Mace. No question from me, mate. I couldn't think of one. But just wanted to say, no, seriously, I thought you were brilliant tonight. Showed honestly, we were talking off camera. So many touches of class. You look like you're back to your firing best. And as I was saying to these, you're such a good guy off the pitch and got a great family, great network. It's a pleasure to see you playing like that, mate, and having a smile on your face after a tough period out. And buzzing for you, mate.
No, I really appreciate that, mate. It's obviously it's good to be back out. I know we obviously spoke after when we played, but really good, feeling good at the moment. Listen, we love being on the pitch and being able to create chances and get on the ball. I'm looking forward to seeing you when you're back, mate.
Appreciate that, buddy. Let's see your goal, Mason. I think you've got a monitor there. Talk us through the finish. Really crisp finish, this. This is when you start getting interested.
As soon as I see obviously Bruno with the ball and has time and space to turn, that's my trigger to running behind and trying to time my run. I thought it was going to be a bit close, but obviously the defender dropped back a bit and kept me onside. So delighted with that. And as I said before, it was about being ruthless in the second half and finishing our chances off. Yeah,
you had a little look, didn't you, just to be sure? But that combination, do you feel that's a nice, nice combination with you and Bruno?
Yeah, listen, we all know the calibre of player he is, and as soon as he gets on the ball, he's looking to create something. It's a joy to play with as a player that's a bit more higher up on the pitch, because he's going to look, he's going to try and play the ball over the top. Thoroughly enjoyed that one.
And just a final thought on what James was saying, really. Do you feel like Manchester United fans are now seeing the best of Mason Mount?
Listen, it's any time I play, I obviously want to play to the best of my ability and perform. I've had setbacks, I've had difficult times. I feel now I really need to keep pushing on and keep building on these performances. Getting in the goals, that's the most important thing as a forward player. And just keep going and keep working hard. That's exactly what I'm focusing on now.
Well done tonight. Really good finish, Mason. Great goal and terrific win as well for Manchester United. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers.
Is he one of your favourites, James? Come and join us.
Yeah, no, like I say, he's just such a nice lad off the pitch. Like, genuinely, he's just a good person. So whenever you have friends like that in football, no matter whether they play for rival teams and stuff, there's a lot of satisfaction in seeing him do well, because I know obviously he's been through a tough time these past couple of years with injuries.
Yeah, did it feel like it was sort of weighing heavy on him because of a big price tag as well?
Yeah, big price tag, massive club, big expectations, and it just didn't start probably the way he wanted it to. But it's quite inspiring for me, especially someone who's going through a difficult period now, being out, seeing him come out the other side of it. And okay, he'll still want more steps and to do this consistently, but seeing that's quite inspiring, especially from a friend. So yeah, like I said, buzzing for him. Yeah, a lovely good news story. Let's take you back to the first of the goals this evening, and it wasn't very pretty, Jamie, was it?
No, it wasn't, and it probably summed up the first half really. There wasn't a lot of quality in there, and what quality there was, I think Mason Mount was at the heart of it really, but I mean, Andre's really poor on the ball. The pressing from Casemiro, it almost feels like a training session where you're not allowed to tackle. Well, fair play to Casemiro, he sees the opportunity there and jumps and wins the ball.
I think Cunha might have gone for goal there.
Yeah, maybe that's a little lack of confidence. Got Bruno behind him as well. It's one of those goals that's going to end up on own goals and gaffes. So you know, one of them.
I don't think they do that anymore.
A blooper video, or
the VHS
going to somewhere about how poor the standard of football is. But as James mentioned at half time, Manchester United fans don't care. Bruno doesn't care. Another goal to his, the amount of goals he's already amassed at Manchester United.
He does so well to engineer the shot. And then this was a little bit of, well, it was a warning shot, wasn't it, just before half time?
Yeah, listen, I mentioned this at half time, but when you're trying to get your team to score goals and you haven't got the quality, what can you actually ask them to do? Getting players in the box, getting players on the last line the manager mentioned before the game, and that's what they do. And it's a brilliant finish, that, because it's not a great ball and it's just blasted at him, really. That was a great cross. This isn't really. It's just blasted in and he's just being lucky. He'll get the assist, but it was more about the finish.
They got in so many times, didn't they, in the second half, Manchester United? 27 shots in total in the game. James, what was the key to that, do you think?
Well, Bruno was at the heart of everything. Bruno's just such a top player. I actually think Bruno's... he doesn't have a massive part in that goal. He still has the ball in the build-up, but the other goals as well. I think he's actually probably underrated to many, Bruno. And I know he gets a lot of plaudits anyway, but I still think he is kind of underrated, for the quality that he shows consistently.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But what do you think about the guy who's come in from Brentford, Brian?
No, he's been brilliant. He's hit the ground running. We talk about signings needing time. He hasn't. He's just adapted really well. And again, he's one of them who just looks like a threat on goal, doesn't he? Every time he plays, he's always getting chances if he's not scoring. And he got on the score sheet again.
This is Bruno Fernandes. We've spoke to Mason Mount about his goal again, but
the trigger.
I mean, you've said before you actually think Bruno Fernandes is underrated.
Every time he's on the ball, he does like to always look for the longer pass. He looks short, and some players have the ability to be able to see every pass without having to look short, look long. He can just see it all, and the quality he has, you've seen with the Mason goal. It's on a plate for him, and he does that time and time again. To be fair.
Yeah, missed the penalty. I mean, comes from a Bruno Fernandes corner, picks out his mate on the edge of the box, and that's where the penalty comes from. They were probably fortunate in the first half. Wolves actually didn't give another penalty away. Probably a little hard done by Manchester United.
So Bruno steps up to take the penalty. We were having this little conversation in the studio. I wondered if Cunha might actually, because he's had 8 shots tonight without scoring. Bruno, as we were discussing, has missed 2 of his previous 3. Do you think that might have been the motivation for him to actually want it?
Yeah, and also 3-1's not, the game's not done and dusted at 3-1. The manager won his best penalty taker taking it. I think Cunha missed one earlier in the season in a shootout as well when they went out of the cup.
The famous one at Grimsby.
Yeah, so I think the manager would have wanted the best penalty taker taking that to get the cushion.
But if you're thinking bigger picture, you talked about Brian and Burmo getting the goals, and that helps him settle after the big move. Is that not what Cunha needs himself, and that will then help the team?
Yeah, but that'll come for Cunha. I have no doubt about that. He's just a player with high quality. You look tonight how many shots he had. He's in and amongst it. He's like I said before the game, he's still such a big threat on goal. The goals will come for him. I think the most important thing was just scoring the penalty, and Bruno's the best at that.
I think James is right there. I think if it's we give it to him and maybe let him take, and I think Bruno Fernandes would do that. 3-1's that awkward one. If that penalty's missed, they get a goal from nowhere. the next 10 minutes or so, you're hanging on with a minute to go. I mean, honestly, no. And there was 9 minutes added at the end of the game as well. So you can imagine that if a situation like that, we'd be the first to criticise, maybe Bruno Fernandes or him passing the ball to Cunha. So no, that was the right decision from Bruno.
4-1 it finished from 27 shots that Manchester United had in a game, the most they've had in any match under Ruben Amorim so far. From 15 games, one of only 4 teams in Football League history to have taken